Let's see.
There's the hands, but what happens is right there, Sean Taylor comes up and makes contact with him after Walt Harris.
How can you uncover?
Quick pass out to Randy Moss on the right side, has a block across the 30. He is clotheslined. That's got to be Sean Taylor. Yes, indeed.
Woo! He almost decapitated him.
Moss gets up. Moss a pretty big guy himself, 210-pounder.
Moss said, hey, he threw it away from Sean Taylor, but Sean Taylor found him. Which is good. Randy Moss. He was looking for Moss. Moss was covered.
2nd and 10 from the 13-yard line. From the shotgun, Culpepper. As Moss to the right, Culpepper back to pass. Again, a lot of time. Stepping up, avoids a rusher.
Oh, man.
Throws it deep down the middle. Moss and Taylor are there, and Sean Taylor deflects it away. Two playmakers going after the football.
That's one of the biggest pass coverages without an interception. Sean Taylor was right there. That was the best play he's made all year. Well, he's one of the best. Well, he's had some interceptions. One of the very best. Yeah, that was a great play. I'm talking about he was on the top receiver in the league. Yeah. And he stays with him and comes down with it. Well, they almost sacked him. Almost sacked the quarterback, but he got it off. You need somebody that big to go up with Randy Moss. Yep.
That's a nice play. Right on him, deflects it away. Man for man, he got it done.
Here's 2nd down and 13. Off the play fake. Culpepper going deep for Moss. He caught it. What a catch by Randy Moss.
Make these catches now.
Yeah. Take another look at it. Look at him get position. He has.
Fake, and Collins looking downfield again. Goes long for Moss. Intercepted and then dropped. Sean Taylor had it, and as he fell to the ground, the ball popped free. Moss had a good step on the defense.
Well, you watch him on the inside. He's actually going to go right down the middle of the field. He splits this 2-deep coverage. There's plenty more in there for Randy Moss. Kerry Collins underthrows this one. Sean Taylor gets a chance to come back in and make the play. I believe Randy Moss could have done a better job maybe boxing him out and going up for that ball and trying to make a play.
4-man rush on Collins. Fires to the end zone, incomplete. Trying to go right back to Moss, and Sean Taylor was there to deflect it, incomplete.
That's one thing Kerry Collins will do. He has so much confidence and faith in Randy Moss that he'll give him some shots. He'll throw some balls into some tight coverage thinking that Randy Moss will go up and make a play. Look at the play before where Walt Harris had his back to the line of scrimmage, wasn't able to see the throw, and Kerry Collins trusted Randy Moss enough to give him a shot.
John Paul Foshee in motion. Collins wants to go deep. It's Moss. Incomplete, covered by Sean Taylor. We saw Moss slow up a bit to try to shield Taylor from the ball, but couldn't get to it himself.
Just debilitating to a football team.
2nd and 9. He goes to Moss in this occasion, but Moss falls down, incomplete. He probably wouldn't have gotten there anyway.
We saw this a little bit last week. Raider receivers slipping, falling down, not being able to make some plays, dropping some critical opportunities.
But he does look as if he's running more freely than he was last Sunday.
Yeah, he does look a lot better. He looks stronger and just slips coming out of this cut. Actually cuts on his outside foot rather than his inside foot. Something you wouldn't expect to see from a veteran receiver like Randy Moss.
Sean Taylor had anticipated the move, as you see the two Mosses.
Looking at that last play, off the play action, one of the first things he's going to do is try and find Randy Moss, and Randy Moss actually gets up on the secondary, goes right by Sean Taylor, and Kerry Collins just can't find him. You see the frustration from Moss on the sidelines.
2nd and 10. Deep out, caught by Moss, and knocked out of bounds around the 20-yard line. Sean Taylor was in perfect position for an interception. How did the ball get through to Moss?
Well, this is unbelievable. You know, I like Randy Moss. I think he's a great player, but you watch this effort. He's just jogging up the field, doesn't think he's going to get the ball. Kerry Collins winds up throwing it. This is a ball that should be picked off. The Raiders are very fortunate here, but this is the thing you don't want to put on film. Don't take plays off. Play every play. Your team's fighting, trying to get back in this game. You need your best effort each and every play.
Every time they go out on a route, knowing they're going to get hit.
Play action. Brady with time. Airing it out for Moss, who is tripped up by Sean Taylor. And the pass off the fingertips of Randy Moss.
And the New England Patriots are going to do this about once or twice a quarter. Try to get a shot down the field deep on a big play. This is a great job, though, by London Fletcher. Running down the middle, that's his job. But when you're doing that against Randy Moss, that's an entirely different kind of job. But I think it was a good no call.
Down at the Redskins' 6-yard line. Brady, a fake spike, throws to the end zone, touchdown, Randy Moss.
Yeah, we've seen that now a couple of times this year already from Tom Brady, faking the spike to stop the clock and then take a shot. First time that I ever remember seeing it was Dan Marino against the New York Jets years ago. And I don't think that he fooled anybody for the Redskins. I think they were prepared for him to throw the ball. And I think Randy Moss got away with some contact here at the end of this play. You know, he's very subtle. You're going to see it right there. He gets his hands on Torrance, and he's able to get separation and get the touchdown. I mean, it's a complete 180 when you look at these two organizations.
Brady pump fakes, now throws for Randy Moss.
We talked about it. I mean, as long as Tom Brady's in the game, they're going to keep firing and they're going to come after you, regardless of what the score is. And, you know, all day to throw the football, and then Randy Moss outside. And, you know, that's just a difficult job for Sean Springs. You know, to stay with Randy Moss because of his speed, and then also have the ability to get turned and try to make a play on the ball.